This machine makes 24 liters of pure slushy. That's a lot, but to put that into context, that's about 6.4 gallons, 811 ounces, and that means it'll serve over 80 10-ounce slushies. Now each bowl or hopper or tank holds up to 12 liters, and in addition to using it as a slushy machine, you can also set it to work as a cold beverage or juice machine to keep juices and non-slushy drinks at an ideal temperature. Now this giant machine is from Mojar and was sent to me for free, which sounds fun right up until the freight truck delivers the wooden crate. No money changed hands. They did not get to review this video before me posting it. And while brands will often give you notes in hopes to cover certain topics or aspects of their product, this is simply my review and my opinion. But since it was sent to me for free, I will not be offering an endorsement or encouraging anyone to buy one, just giving you my unbiased review as best that I can. Now, if you have been watching here, you might know that I have another YouTube channel, which is Make and Drink Frozen. It's devoted to all things slushy and frozen, including the Ninja Slushie machine. But from time to time, I still want to share things here like machines or recipes that I find to be great. So if you want to know more about slushies, recipes, and eventually more blender cocktails, go subscribe to that channel, Make and Drink Frozen. Now, back to this machine. This did come in a wooden crate, and it did arrive very quickly in just a few days. Assembly is pretty easy once you get all the parts separated out, but this is more of a commercial machine and not as much as one you would just put on your kitchen counter and turn it on and go. You start by making sure the rear gasket is in place, then sliding on the auger and making sure that this part is lined up all the way in, or you won't properly be able to get the bowl to seat. Next, you slide on the bowl, and this is simply a friction fit. There's no levers or locks, just these plastic cleats sliding behind the front of the machine. You'll also need to assemble the pour spout, which includes the valve and a spring. You slide that into place, and then insert the lever, and finally a pin, and that's it. The machine drains from the middle down into the machine and out the front through these tubes. So you need to insert these into the drip tray. And now you're ready to slushy. Before we make these slushies you see right now, the ones that have been working in the machine, a little more about the machine, its pros and cons, just more information on it. First, let's talk about the size. And it's big. It takes up a lot of space. It holds up to 12 liters per tank. And the biggest downside to the machine really probably is partially about the size. It requires a minimum level for you to use it. That minimum level is defined by this red sticker here, which says the best horizontal level. I did confirm with them that you do need to use that minimum line there. You want your mix to go up above the cooling unit here in the middle, above the auger, and that line is at about 7 liters per hopper. Now that's a lot when you're testing things out. If you want to just make a new recipe and maybe only a couple of cocktails, you're going to need to use about 7 liters per tank to make a slushie. So while this is big and you need to make 7 liters, that's kind of the whole point of these machines. These are for larger volumes, and you're not going to be able to make, 24 ounces in a machine like this. But in the machines, which there's only 1 or 2 of, that you can make 1 or 2 slushies, you will never be able to get near the volume that something like this machine can do. So they're kind of separate categories. So I don't see the size as that big of a downside, because if you're looking into one of these machines, you're looking for something that can make a lot of drinks at once. Next, let's talk about the interface. And the interface to work this machine is a little challenging at first. It's set up for 3 hoppers, even though this machine just has 2. So we're operating with an A and a B. You turn the machine on, and then you just set it to either slushy or the cold drink setting. For each side of the machine, you can adjust the temperature setting from a 1 to a 10, depending on the mix that you're working with. That cold drink mode or juice mode allows you to keep the mix cold and serve it that way, or turn it to that if you're keeping this running overnight. Now you put the machine together, you've got it to work, you've made a slushie. Probably the biggest downside to this and this model is the noise, and it is not quiet. It is difficult for me to kind of share with you noise levels through a video, but when you're next to the machine and you're trying to talk to someone, you can, but you're really having to elevate your voice here. And if you're like 6 to 10 feet away, it's going to be better, but still loud. That makes this challenging to use in a bar setting, or even if it's on your back bar, if you have guests close by. But unlike some of the other machines, especially the smaller ones, this is powerful. This is going to be able to slush a lot of things and a lot of volume, and that means some trade-offs. This machine and the ones like it are about $1,000. And when you compare that to the other commercial machines that can run $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000, you can see where you're going to have to make some trade-offs for getting a machine that is so much more affordable. But one thing to note too is that some of these other machines that aren't very powerful, they're not going to be able to operate in a warmer setting or outside. This machine, from what I've read about it and tested with it, it will be able to work outside. Now there's probably going to be a max outdoor temperature where it's not going to work or work well, but it's powerful enough to slush even if it's outside. Cleaning. All right, guess what? Cleaning a slushie machine, no matter the size, it is not fun. And when it comes to cleaning this one, it is pretty easy, but these parts are really big and it's challenging if you're trying to clean this off in your kitchen sink. So a bigger sink will be helpful here, but it's pretty basic: soap and water. All these parts are removable. And since it is bigger, it is actually easier to get into all the nooks and crannies to clean it. The machine also comes with some extra parts, which is nice since you're bound to lose these little pins or the silicone parts. So it comes with extra parts for you to use, especially like these little pins. I already lost one of them, and luckily it came with extras. Now the 2 drinks that are in front of us are very basic. There's a blue sports drink that I added some sugar to. I mainly just have a blue contrast here. And then this is an orange dreamsicle mix, and I added vodka to it. Now, I just did a video for this mix on my other channel, Make a Drink Frozen, using this Margarita Man dreamsicle mix, and I made it with rum there. It's delicious. It's a mix, and it comes in handy here for these machines because you need so much liquid. You'll need over a liter of fresh juice, probably a liter of syrup, and then all of the spirits and anything else you need to make just the minimum 7 liters here. So if you're entertaining a crowd and you really don't want to be juicing, I don't know, 100 limes and using all of your good syrups, looking into high quality mixes is a real benefit here. And I found the Margarita Man ones that I've used are great. I'll have links to those in this episode's description if you want to know more about these mixes. So let's see how this dreamsicle with vodka tastes. I really do like that dreamsicle mix. I'm a little sad I had to use the rest of that bottle here for this, but look how much it made. And that already made probably, I think, 3 full mixes of the Ninja Slushie machine in addition to this that you see here. So you're going to be able to get, I think, maybe even more than a full hopper here with just that one bottle of mix. But the actual taste of the mix and the vodka in it, which actually tastes fine, is not what we're here for. How can this thing make a slushie? And it's got the right ice crystal, the small ice crystal structure. I set it up to one of the higher settings here because I have quite a bit of mix and quite a bit of vodka in there. And the texture to me is perfect, but you could easily have set this to a higher setting if you wanted larger ice crystals with more volume. The machine is capable of that. And that is a big difference between the Ninja or what I would expect to be more entry-level consumer slush machines, is that they just are not going to have the power that one of these big machines has. So there you go, the Mojar 24-liter, 24-liter slushy machine. If you're interested in learning more about this machine or where you can find one, check out this episode's description. There will be links there for that. And if you want more slushy content, including recipes coming up, check out the Make and Drink Frozen channel. Subscribe there. I'm treating that channel a little differently too, just like it's not just tropical and tiki and historic stuff or rum-based. I'm exploring other things, working on a butterbeer recipe, a frozen butterbeer, and I'm also working on a blue milk recipe, which I think is going to be much more authentic or closer to the one you can find in the Disney parks than any of the copycat ones that I have seen online, at least. So if you want to see me kind of go down the rabbit hole more of slushy and frozen drinks, make sure you go over there, subscribe there. I'm trying to post videos there about once a week. And like I said, if you want to know more about this machine, just check out this episode's description. Feel free to ask me questions in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Give this video a like below and subscribe here if you have not already. And otherwise, I will see you on the next one.